So, in nutshell, to be African above and apart all aspects of what it means to be an African, it is also spiritual, or I should say, is first and foremost a spiritual and divine. Simply because we did not create ourselves, we were brought here on a purpose, on a divine purpose. And this identity, which has been given to you by the divine, is something that you cannot escape, no matter how much you try. So, for you to understand it, you have to realize that most of identities that we associate ourselves with, whether it's tribes, nationals, so forth and so on, are identities that we can strip ourselves of them. We can decide one day to take off those identities from us, and it's possible. But the identity of being an African is something that you cannot take away from you. That's the reason why I'm saying that it's divine. It is spiritual, because if you die today, for example, nobody will never know whether you spoke Igbo, Lingala, Swahili, whatsoever. Nobody will ever know whether you were of Sutu tribes, of Luba tribes, of Kikongo tribes, so forth and so on. Nobody will never take that guess. If you die today, nobody will never know whether you had a Congolese passport, a Zimbabwean passport, a Kenyan passport. Nobody will never know all those identities that we pride ourselves in. If you die today, no one will never know whether you were Muslim or you were Christian. You see, these are identities that we have embraced because we have chosen them. We can also choose to discard ourselves of them. And even when we die, nobody will never know what we were unless, they read our biography, so forth and so on. But there's one aspect of our identity as Africans that we cannot get rid of, even when we die, even after millions of years have passed. When they examine the bones of you as African, when they examine our bone structure, they will be able to determine that you were African. And that's the reason why we say that being an African is firstly divine, is spiritual, right?